Hi there, it's Meonicorn. Today I'm going to do a book review about Anne of Green Gables by Anne Montgomery. First of all, let me show you my tiny collection of Anne of Green Gables, which only including 3 items. The first item is this one, Anne of Green Gables box set, which has the rest of the books here. Secondly, I had another copy of Anne of Green Gables, which was a present to me by my friends who actually lived in the Prince Edward Island. He said the book was very popular in his city, which makes sense because the whole story happened on Prince Edward Island. And thirdly, I have this small magnet of Green Gables. Because I'm a collector of magnets, so my friends who sent me the book also bought me these magnets. The story started with a brother and a sister, Matthew and Marilla. They are at their elderly years, so they want to adopt an orphan to help Matthew with the farm work. Unfortunately, or fortunately, there's some misunderstanding between Matthew and Marilla and the people who helped them with the adoption, and Anne Shirley was sent to the Green Gables by accident. I got my first copy of Anne of Green Gables when I was 13 or 14 years old, and I was ill and stayed in the hospital. And my middle school teacher came to visit me one day and brought me this book. She said she wanted me to read it because she thought Anne was just exactly like me. So I read the book at that time and I was thoroughly enjoyed, and I lost in the tongue of Emily and lost in Anne's imagination. However, this time during reread, I found myself had some changing thoughts about Anne and about the people surround her, but I still enjoy it. So we got our little orphan Anne in Green Gables, and she was unexpected by everyone, including Matthew, Marilla, and their friends. But something happened. So we know that Matthew and Marilla decided to keep Anne in the Green Gables and help her to get a good education and with her growth. This is basically a coming-of-age story. So at the beginning of the book, Anne was very little and she was curious about everything, and she constantly lost in her imagination. And I just love the way that she described everything around her, the nature, the house, the people. And she has this most kindly heart in the history of literature. And I think what I pick up this time is how I can understand the adults in the book and how they think Anne is talking too much. Her language is beautiful and we can see almost another word through Anne's eye, and she often uses big words which I understand as a child, and I remember how often I wanted my parents to treat me as an adult when I was a child. But this time I think I have another point of view of adults, and I think I do get some struggle when Anne lost in her imagination and stopped doing the thing that she's supposed to do. I remember when I was at the age of 6 or 7, my grandfather literally get mad at me because I was talking too much, and I constantly asking him about why this, why that, why those, something like that, and he got super annoying and get mad at me. At that time, I didn't understand why talking can make people mad, especially I think I'm talking something that is friendly and is good. But this time, it just reminds me how lucky we were when we were children. We got so much time to spend on imagination, on asking questions, on talking, on seeing the world from a childish eye. And we had the time to appreciate everything happened in our childhood. And it actually made me a little bit sad when I realized that I can understand the adults' thoughts in this book. That means my childhood is far away from me. Speaking of Anne's talking too much, I don't know if my teacher was annoyed by me at that time. The book is strong character-driven, and I especially love the relationship development in this book between Anne and Marilla, between Anne and Matthew, between Anne and her childhood best friend Diana, and also between other townspeople and Anne, and how they adopted the idea of adopting an orphan and how the townspeople changed by the time that Anne grew up. It just makes me feel Emily is such a warm place for Anne and how nice the new home for her is. As I mentioned, Anne was talking too much at the beginning of the book. That actually makes it a great children's book. However, as an adult, the first half of the story was a little bit slow for me, and I cannot say I have a hard time to develop my emotion, but I didn't develop a lot of emotion in the first half of the book, which you can see from the tag. I tagged some of my emotions, and the first half of the book only have a few tags. They have some tags here, but it's not as much as the second half. But after you went through the first half of the book, the second half is really great. In the second half of the book, Anne started to growing up and Anne started to understanding others, and there are some amazing relationships she developed with her classmates, with her friends and other people, and she started to have some more responsibility of what she is supposed to do. And it's just amazing to go through Anne's life in the second half of the book. And she started to have her own dream, and she started to fight for her future and facing some life choices. And also she had her little secret ambitions, which makes her amazing. I think because of the writing style, you started to collect your feelings for Anne slowly by slowly. However, it just adds up to the end of the book and you fall in love with the character. To be honest, I was disagree with Anne on some of the topics that she cared about and on some of the things that she valued much more that I don't think it need to value that much. But I don't think it's necessarily wrong if you value those things. It's just in my value system, they are not high up. However, I was glad to see that Anne grew up during her years at Green Gables and she started to value some other things. Sometimes during reading this book, I feel it's a shame that some of the adults in the book are trying to be sensible and they cannot enjoy freedom even though they wanted to. But I think that's exactly the difficulty for adulting, and I'm still learning. And also, I'm willing to read the rest of the books in the series to see Anne's adulting story as well. And that's all my book review for today. I hope my review is helpful and I hope you enjoy it. If you have any thoughts of Anne of Green Gables, please let me know on the comments. If you want more bookish content from me, please subscribe to me so that I can see you next time. Happy reading! Bye!